All right, moving on to customer sophistication. I think this is the best way to show off different sophistication levels when it comes to buyers and shoppers. And from a low sophistication level, you have Walmart. If you're from a different country, Walmart is, it's mass. Everyone has been to Walmart here in America, and Walmarts are like very popular in the Midwest. And then you move up a notch and you go to Target, which is medium sophistication. So you got a lot of moms here. They have a lot higher quality stuff, more fashionable things, and you can get clothing, you can get everything you can get at Walmart, but it's just a little nicer. It's a little nicer. And then you move on to high sophistication. You got Saks Fifth Avenue, which is premium stuff. You go in there, you look at the price tags, you just like lose your mind. So as you can see, there's a different level of sophistication, even when you go into the store. What it looks like, what it feels like, the pricing of the products, the brands that they carry. And as you move up, it gets narrower and narrower. You're not offering everything that you would at Walmart. And even Target has like their own brand of stuff, their brand of clothing and their brand of home goods, right? And as you move up, not to say that Saks Fifth is a department store or like a shopping store where you get groceries and whatnot, but we're talking about expensive luxury clothing. And so you go in there and everything is dialed in, from the customer service to the quality, to the smell, to the lights, to the decoration. It's a completely different experience going from Saks Fifth to Walmart. Here's another example of low sophistication people versus high sophistication people. Guys, this is, and I'm adding this disclaimer at the very bottom. This is a spectrum and by no means an absolute measure of the quality of a person. You could be low sophistication in terms of this and be a great person. You could be highly sophisticated and be a jerk. Okay. And you could be the other way around. There's no perfect answer here. I'm just letting you know from like a general standpoint. Okay. Because I worked with a brand that had a lower sophistication audience, and you're dealing with people from the Midwest and who weren't very complex with themselves, who weren't very tech savvy, and not to say that they're bad people or anything, not at all. They're beautifully nice people and friendly. You just have different upbringings, and so this is going to affect how you present your brand and your product and your advert and your video to the audience, okay? Because someone with a high sophistication isn't going to buy from a low sophistication product or store, and vice versa. Someone with low sophistication isn't going to buy from a high sophistication store. No, it's not going to work. So I've broken down really quickly what that means, or at least from my own words. I would say low sophistication people, they're concerned about price and they really want a deal. They care about deals. Higher sophistication, they care about quality and they're willing to pay for that quality because they prefer longevity and lifetime of their products. Lower sophistication, lower class income, they meet a different income bracket versus higher sophistication. They're middle to elite class income. All right. You've got the multimillionaires in there. Lower sophistication, no formal education versus formal education or self-taught. Lower sophistication, you have the working class, even unemployed, versus professionals and business owners, I would say, in the higher sophistication. Lower sophistication, easier to sell. Higher sophistication, harder to sell. I guess this could be argued. Anyone could be easier or difficult to sell. It just depends on their background. But it comes down to how you're presenting the message, right? I'll break down some examples, but you're not going to sell a lower sophistication product to a higher sophistication person, highly sophisticated person, and vice versa. It just doesn't make sense. Here's an example of like two different stores. You got low sophistication and high sophistication. If you've ever been to a 99-cent store, everything there is $1. Okay. You go in there, the products are cheap quality. Everything is $1. The place is a mess. It's you see things that are expired. You're like, what is going on in here? And the demographic in that place is typically people who are unemployed, or no, I'm not gonna say all of them, but there's definitely a lower income type person in there. All right. Versus if you go into a Whole Foods, that place is dressed up to the nines. Everything is way overpriced, but everything is very high quality, and they have so much to offer in terms of variety. And you've got a very sophisticated looking person who shops there, higher income level, and it's a lot more to, I would say, manage from an appearance side and as well as a product quality side. So those are very two different places to be in. Ask yourself, how sophisticated is your customer? It's very important to know your customer's sophistication, because it's going to affect how you actually do your marketing. You got to take into account your product, the product, I would say the branding of the product too, the box, the directions, all of that. The customer experience is going to be very, very important depending on the sophistication level of your audience. If they're low sophistication level, they're not really going to care as much how they're presented with the box or the product. This is why dropshippers can get away with so much, so much junk, is because it's just, they're not marketing to the rich and elite. They're marketing to the lower brackets. Another thing is price. If it's too high, they're not going to buy. If it's too low, they're going to be like, this is cheap. Your website, very, very, very important. If it's like very gimmicky, crappy looking site, you're going to repel higher sophisticated people. If it's a crappy site, lower sophisticated people, they're not going to tell the difference. Okay. In creative, are you going to do like a dropshippy style, or are you going to do a very branded approach? Are you going to do very like clean and very dynamic, or very, commercial looking? And then brand and mission, right? These are two things. I would say as a dropshipping brand, you don't really have a mission or a brand. But if you're Caraway, that kitchen set, brand and mission are going to be very, very important. And you're going to appeal to the more sophisticated audience. Okay, so I believe that wraps up Module 5. Thank you so much for watching it, and I will see you in the next one. Hope you enjoyed it.